So hi guys, I'm really excited to make this class. It's the first time in this club and I'm really nervous, but I would like you to interrupt me any time when you have questions or you have advice or I am saying something wrong. I don't mind you correct me. And so really hope everybody gonna do candles at home now. So there was some kind of nice startup, on my PowerPoint presentation, but we can't make it. I have to do it by myself on my memory. So what it was started, the candles making, it's a really good hobby for beekeepers. And another thing which is really important, you are a beekeeper, you busy in a bee yard, but your family can be involved in all this crafting, which is really beneficial to everybody, to your family, your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, everybody is so excited to get candle for present during the holidays or birthday party or whatever. And I really encourage you to start doing this. To make a candle, it's could be very simple. You don't need anything. I just accumulate so much stuff during my 13 years of making it, like every year I think, oh, I have to make myself present. I will buy more molds or I will buy some tool, to do, help me out. But I started with this one, cookie maker. And it's very easy, absolutely amazing. You just melt wax, and wax could be any color. What I like to do, like I have over there on the table, the juicer. Usually people use it to make a juice from any kind of fruits. So I use it for wax melting. It's convenient for me because I can do it in a garage, put it in, I collect 10, 20, 30 frames maximum. So I have also steamer. I put the box, regular hive box from steamer hose, stick in a hole, and all my frames get soft, and some of them, which is light, get really melted right in a box, and I scoop it out and put it in this juicer. So there is a hose. When the juicer bottom part, you have to pour water in. Second part, collect melted wax, and on the top, you put the wax in. And I wrap it with the foil because I found this insert bigger one so I can put more. I'm greedy. Put more wax in. So, and I just cover it with foil so steam would not go out through the holes and everything will go deep in. Now it's dirty and old, and it's when you warm it up, it's set down. But right now I could not push it in. So it's very easy for women. Men kind of do it a little bit different, like put the fire in the backyard, put the big buckets in and melt it. So for me, this way, it's more clean, more affordable physically and everything. So another thing I would like to talk about the wax. So wax, people making candles from a white wax capping. It's a very beautiful, nice, light candles. Here is the wax from capping, light one. But during my experiments, and I said, boy, I have so much dark wax, and what should I do? And I made a few candles at home from dark wax, and we were sitting having dinner. And my husband said, boy, it smells differently. It smells like forest. It's not smell like honey. And the reason why, because there is a propolis inside, and we basically can't clean it completely, but we can make it lighter. We can, when you boil wax in the water, So first of all, if it's really dark wax, too much debris, not only frames like I'm doing in this one. I just have a big bucket like this. I cut all my wax, put it in, fill in with water, and it should soak over the night. So water kind of absorbs, dissolve all honey, and propolis kind of like, it's not going to the water, but water get dark. I don't know why exactly. So overnight I soak it and I put it out and put fresh water in and put it on a stove and started to boil it. Make it simmering, not really boiling, because if it's boiling, wax get darker. If it's simmering a little bit, so it's kind of like if you ever did the tincture with the propolis to drink or to, am I touching something or I'm moving? This is why, okay, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry? No gas stove. I use only electrical, and recently I purchased, not recently, couple years. This one, like convention, kind of like you can use certain pots only with this. So it's completely safe, but if your wax really boiling, it can flame even from this stove. So they said that beekeepers burn a lot of houses already by this time. I don't know any yet, but it's dangerous. Be very careful when you melt wax. It's never leave it alone. Go for lunch or dinner, stay with it. So when you simmer this wax little by little, like 30 minutes approximately, I simmer it when it's finally boil all bucket. The propolis dissolve in the water and wax getting much lighter. So this is wax I got from simmering. It's gray, it's not yellow, but it's really good for candles. But for home, and now with my fair markets, when I go, I give people chance to smell and compare dark one and light one. So if somebody wants to try it, smell, and somebody will not notice, but a lot of people notice difference between dark one and light one. So, and tell me, anybody who smells it, what do you smell? How you can describe this things? So, so it does not really matter what kind of wax you use. If you don't have cappings, it's okay. You can make candles from any type, color of the wax. So another thing I would like to mention about wax and compare it with paraffin. All markets basically filled with paraffin. And even they say bee wax, if it does not say 100%, the bee wax mix with paraffin. So it's much cheaper than do only bee wax. And of course it does not smell. So not only great aroma when you light the candles, it's also clears the air. Comparing to paraffin does not. He just pollutes the air. Also, beeswax, when it's burning, it's kind of like kills the mold spores in the air, and it's really beneficial for the room environment. When I tell people about dark wax and light wax.
Sorry, Alla, sorry to interrupt you, but for the Zoom viewers, the question was whether one type of candle sells better than the other. And if you put your hand up, I'll give you the mic. Thank you.
Yeah. People like the dark color, how it smells, and they buy. I would say 50% people choose dark one comparing to light one. It's really surprised me. And it attract more buyers, when you talk about dark propolis, and when people hear propolis, oh, it's something, really good. I said, no, it's not this propolis which you can drink or you can choose the wax with propolis. It's a little bit different, it's burning, but it smell, anybody can say me how they feel, how they smell it. Did you notice any difference? Yeah, kind of more than like forest, like some tree or some leaves burning.
It's just for the Zoom folks, they're saying it's more like a forest.
So another part of the candles, it's when you melt the wax, how you strain it, how you clean it from all debris and everything. I used everything. From the beginning, I was using these window screens. It's better when you do it double, triple layers. It's much better clean. So usually I use the clippers to put it on a pot and it does not fall in. So I used flowers bags, you know, like this one. It's really cleans good. Pantyhose, it's amazing, but it's difficult sometimes to put on a big pot. It's small, so you can put it. So Tori once sent email and she said that she using this kind of material, could not find this email to tell people what is it. It's amazing. I cut a piece, it's really good. You can wash it and or put it in a boiling water. Oh. Yeah, it was last year. She sent this email, I bought it, amazing. So, but my favorite stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. It would really help me, you guys, if you put your hand up before you talk. Thank you.
Hi, it's 100 micron nylon mesh, which Amazon sells for cheese making.
Yeah. So everything what I'm talking started to talk. This one you have to spend money. This every house has a coffee filter. Thank you. So this one does not cost anything. Every house has it. Any socks, anything, you know, like this one, coffee. So this one you can get anywhere. So basically to start to make a candles, you don't need much investment because your house already have everything what you need. I use this one and I like it very much. It's good for wax and for honey, amazing things. It's a, I found it on when I purchased a house on my window in a house. It's a window screen. So I cut it in pieces, 2-3 layers. I use it all the time and it's also cleanable and washable. I love it. So it's much cheaper than this one.
Alla, when you clean the fabric that you use as a filter, how do you clean it?
So I put it in a pot, put hot water in, shake it. Yeah, one more thing I would like to mention. When you clean something with wax, you should not put it in a sink. I clogged my sink 2 times. It get get there and you, no way you can pull it out. So please be very careful when you do it, try to do it outside. So this one, I wash it once in a hot water. I wash it second time in a hot water. And basically when you do it 2 times, it's already okay, but you can do 3 times in a boiling water. All wax melting goes in the water. You just shake inside the pot and ready to use. I mean, it's not gonna be as new, you know, it's gonna be used, but.
So it just so happened over Christmas break, my daughter, who had made candles, came and we did this whole project on melting wax and making candles. But we ended up with pots with the water after you boil it. And you have to get rid of it somewhere, but it's got honey in it and it's got all and wax in it. And I didn't want to pour it outdoors anywhere near my hive because it'll attract ants. So be very careful where you dump this cooled water as you're doing this filtering process. So it's nowhere near your hives and it's nowhere near where the ants could come and populate
You
or
know,
stay.
right now there is no ants basically outside, and you can, if you do it like 10, 15 feet away from hive, it's safe.
Good to know.
10, 15 feet from hive, it's safe.
I think Menlo Park is full of ants. I think they're all subterranean. They're everywhere. So
You know, I was going to mention, yeah, people afraid of ants. I hate them, you know, even they're so cute and nice and doing their job, what they need to do. But you have to protect your hive. And no matter what you do around it, if your hive protected, you can even raise them next to it and they won't be able to get in a hive. So when you set it up, first thing you have to think how you protect it. So I have cans with oil and all my hives sitting in cans with oil. I don't have problem for 10 years. First 4 years, I was just struggling, moving, cleaning. Yeah, when you set it up right, it's resolved. Okay, so when I use this wax melter and I put it in a bucket and I leave it in a bucket, everything what is down, it's a water with honey and debris. The bricks, which I remove, it gonna be bucket, it will be container, plastic container. There is a dark, this is already clean, but it's really dark, really crazy, dirty. You scrub it with knife under the water. And after you can melt it again and go through the double, triple strainer, it's gonna be really nice and clean like this one. See?
Alla, do you use a solar wax melter for processing your wax?
Be
A solar wax melter
Yeah,
outside?
solar wax melter is perfect, but you have to make it. You have to have a place and sun direct, you know, like in my San Francisco bee yard, it's useless. In Sunnyvale bee yard, it's good, but I'm not every day there. I leave it for 1 week. I come and it did not melt it or melted just a little bit. You have to put only one layer of frames. So for me, it's best thing. I am in San Francisco at home. I don't have anything to do at evening. I just turn it on and I melt it and it's done, you know, like I'm not, yeah, I like wax melter, solar wax melter, wax from this device. It's amazing, beautiful, shiny smell, even very, very dark wax get really beautiful. So if you have a handy, because in a store it costs $300, $500, and I just like cheap person. I try to do everything with my hands, whatever is easier to make. So I do this way. What else? So another thing I was mentioning about bucket, when I soak it in the water and after I change the water, soak it overnight and boil it literally. The wax in this bucket is really great. So for example, this is a bucket and it's already boiling for 30 minutes. I push the sieve in, so all my debris and everything kind of under, and here in a top, I just sip and pour in any plastic container, whatever I have, any molds like this, you know, like, so top layer, approximately like 5-8 inches, it depends how big your bucket is. It's the purest, cleanest wax. You don't need to strain it again. And rest, you just leave it as it is. And you just collect the bottom bricks, what get hard. And in the bottom leaves honey, all this debris and everything. And you clean this brick a little bit, and you have to melt it again, of course, and clean it. But this is really saved me a lot of time, because I kind of like half of my wax already from first time, clean, nice, absolutely does not need to be heated again and strain it again. So now we're going to the wick. So first we have already clean wax. Now we have to choose a wick, what we're gonna do. Depend of the candle you're going to make. So wick you have to choose, depend of the size, diameter, and what kind of quality you want the wick, because there is so many different. I have in my, don't remember, it's 2 tables that doesn't recommend it, and somewhere on a website I found it. But no matter where I buy it, no matter what size they say, I made a candle, I tried, and it's not working, because some wicks made for soy wax, for paraffin, and for coconut wax or something they use. Bee wax is completely different story, because the temperature of burning burn candles, it's much higher. So the wicks burn much quicker. And some of them are really burn quicker than and die, you know, like, so no matter what you do, you have to try, make one candle and burn it and see how it works. If it works well, so this is going to be your size for example, for this kind of mold. What I'm doing, not to remember what wicks I use, I just cut big one, and I pull it in. First of all, I don't need to try it every time. Second, I save my hole in a mold. I don't get it really broken or big. I pulled it 1 time, and every time I need new candle, I pull out candles. Here is my wick. It's already inside. It's very convenient. You save a lot of wicks because you don't need to cut. Every time you make candle, you cut pieces. Here it's just like 0 waste. It's really, I kind of like develop it during my process of candle making, and this is now kind of very simple, but to start with, it's really difficult. You don't know. So first of all, some wicks are cotton, and some wicks still have some kind of synthetic inside. Even they say, especially when you buy it from China or somewhere, even it says it's cotton, it's not. I even started to dip my wig in wax. It's a little bit tricky. For example, like this one, it's breaking. You have to do some short pieces, dip it, lay it down, dry it out, and it mostly works for the candles like this one, cookie. Here's this wick already dying. This one.
I'm sorry we couldn't show you the table, but I think Alla's going to make it available to all of you on the email afterwards.
Alla, why do you dip the wick in wax?
So the reason why I dip it, this one dying, because it's not enough cotton inside. It's mostly synthetic, and it's not absorbs the wax in. So when you dip the wick in a wax, so it's kind of more chances that it will burn, it will stay light. if you not zip it, it will die like this. This is why. But if you 100% convinced that your wick is working well, it's cotton, it's burning and everything, you don't need to do this. It's just my experiments, you know, like I read a lot of websites and trying to find some different way of wick to place in. And sometimes I'm doing candles and I'm running out of wick. So I just get a garden cotton. Where is it? I brought it, all right, huge one. And sometimes it's bigger than this one. It's for garden to tie the vegetables, anything you're growing. And I started to dip it in a wax and use it. And I find out that it's better than some wick I buy from store. And this huge bean cost like $10 and like this one from Darren or this one, $15. So it's, when you do it just a little bit, it does not matter. You can spend a lot of money, but when you do more, you're looking for some ways to save it because people don't want to buy expensive candles. It's kind of accumulate. So to be able, so we cover wick, we cover wax, now molds and forms where you can do candles. Of course, you can't use these plastic containers. It's gonna end like this. You can use any glass, it's fancy one, but you can use just glass from your kitchen. You can use any old cans, whatever you have, you know, and you can put some pretty labels around on related to bees or flowers, and it's gonna be pretty. You can lead it and use it. You can use, as I said, cookies. And here, it's very inexpensive tin foils. It's, sorry, tins, you know, it's aluminum, but I found out that if you use aluminum pot to melt the wax, it gets darker. If you use this one, kind of, it's from the rice cooker. So it's best pot I ever had. I had so many, but this one is the best one. Never get darker, never get over boiling, never get very hot, you know. So I really work with this many years already. Tin foil, glass, jars, any jars for the honey you can use for candles. But my now favorite thing, it's a molds, and I buy it everywhere. Molds are very different. You can buy molds which are from 2 pieces. You can buy molds which 1 piece. You can buy mold, like if you compare, for example, this one and this one. Can you give people to touch? So when you use molds like this, it's you have to keep them separate because if they touch each other, they somehow get very soft. I could not figure out why, and after I figure out that they don't put enough hardener in a silicone, and then it's get very kind of like soft and cannot stand even. When you pour wax in, it's opens up or even breaks. So using the mold candles, do you want to guys see how to make the cookie maker candles? Okay, so to be able to make a cookie maker candles, you have to use any kind of like a silicone tray or plastic tray, anything which has a borders. And after you pour the honey, melted honey, a little bit, like layers, like 2-3 millimeters, and you put this, I melted it, but it's already get harder because I turned it off. You put your cookie makers, and after you can use any kind of wick like this. You can glue it with a piece of tape, or you can use if you don't have anything at home, like you can buy this kind of like rings, which has a holes, and you can stick wick inside. Smaller one. Better to do it in wax. Here you can, I did not bring scissors, but you understand what I mean. You put it in. And on the top, you put some wooden sticks or hair pins. I use all kind of things, like you can have this one, but you have to buy it, And the reason I do chopsticks with 2 pieces of rubber band, and you can put wick inside and it's hold it in a place you need. Here it is. You have wick already set up. You can come closer and look. Oh, you can see it on the screen. Great, wonderful. Actually, I have scissors. Sorry, I found. Yeah, I have so much stuff that I can. All right, my wax a little bit melted. I can pour here and you can see how it's easy to make. You just pour kind of little lake. So let it and put it in. And now you can put wick in.
Why do you need the lake?
Lake you need, you put the cookie maker. So if you pour wax in, all this wax will go between the cookie because it does not have bottom. It just ring. So you kind of like make this lake, put the cookie maker in, it get harder and it kind of seal the space between the your silicone mat, and then you can pour as much as you need. One more thing I was going to mention, it's important to pour wax certain temperature. You can't pour wax at the temperature it's melting, because it's gonna leak no matter what you do. It has best temperature, it's 155, 165. If it's hotter, it's difficult.
Alla, does it matter if the wick is straight or can it be kind of loose
It's
and
very
curly?
important, the wick should be straight and in the middle. Otherwise, your candle gonna kind of like burn on a side, and half candle left and half candle burn very quick. It's very important. It should be in the middle and straight. So this is why I use the things to pull out the wick and make it straight. The head somewhere. So here I was using couple times the wooden wick, and it does not burn very well with wax, with beeswax. It's very good for soy candles, but not for beeswax. It's smoky and burn very quick. Wax can't melt. Kind of like get after this one. It's not good for beeswax. Don't even try to waste your money. So one is dry already. I'm looking for a week for another one.
Alla, I have a question. Have, have you tried using birthday cake candles where the wax is already on the wick to hold the wick?
I guess you can. You can just melt the candle and take it. I tried to use a few times candles which I spoiled, and I melt them and I pull out the wick, and I thought I can use it. It get kind of dirty already, because no matter how you clean wax, it's still on the bottom some kind of like a black stuff, you know, like I got a very clean piece of wax, but when I pull it out, you will see on the bottom, and this wick, not really good, unless you get it out, you clean it with some kind of towels, you know, like you can reuse it, yes, but it just sometimes not good. So when you pour wax in a form, in a mold, any kind, in a glass, and your wick kind of moved, you know, because you're pouring wax, it's kind of force. You can always, on the top, you can a little bit adjust while wax is still liquid, you know. When it's already dry, it's of course not possible. So I use this one. I recommend everybody to buy. I was trying to pour from this pot, from smaller pot, from this small pots. This is the best. It's not much wax. You don't jeopardize all your settings, because when I pour I set up all my molds and it's on a tray. So it's much easier go with this one in every mold than with this one. So it's only one thing which I really recommend everybody to buy. All other things, it's, you know, like up to you, how you you find it useful for yourself, buy it. You don't, it's okay, you know, you can easily work with this kind of thing. It's not difficult, a little bit more difficult, but not much. See, I put really nice, clean piece of wax, and look, there is still dirty black things in a pot. No matter how you clean, it will be there. And because of this, I keep this kind of mold. And every time some wax left in my pot, I put it here. And in the bottom, if it's something dirty black, I can cut it out and reuse it. So this is another very convenient piece you have to make it. See, it's leaking. You have to wait temperature until it gets 150 because it leaks. Yeah, you have to wait a little bit. So let me melt more wax and
Alla,
yeah,
is there any trick to making dripless candles?
dripple.
Dripless.
Honestly, I did not do it. I don't know.
Even. That combination.
So, I have a question. I've tried to make candles in baby food jars before. And there's no problem with just leaving the candle in a glass jar, is there? Have you ever had any problem with that?
Leave candles in a glass jar.
Like leave it in glass with the wax and a wick.
It does not burn
Or
or
it burns fine. I've just always wondered if it gets too hot for the glass. I don't know if that's safe or not.
for honey jars.
She's saying,
No, it's not cracking. I burn a lot. It's not cracking. Never glass jar from honey. I buy small hexagonal jar.
Baby
Baby
food.
food is also very thick glass, very thick glass.
I
I don't think, if it's kind of like a glass, for example, in the kitchen, glass you use for water, for tea or whatever, maybe this one will crack, but jars, I never had any jar crack.
I
But I can't, of course, say that none of them will crack.
I would be extremely careful. I used to work for a candle manufacturing company. The biggest problem you have with any of the glass jars is the bottom thickness. So as the wick burns down, the bottom of the glass can get extremely
This is-
hot.
Right.
And you
yeah.
can burn your table, you can set a tablecloth on fire. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. And the same thing for any of the metal containers that you want to use. It's the same thing. Metal containers should always have something underneath them.
say into the mic for the Zoom people. I always
Good
put something
point.
under.
I was
those
going to
candles.
tell, when candles
Stone.
get burned to the end, it's, it can crack. Mhm.
Alla, have you tried making your own silicone molds?
No, it's my next step in my hobby life to make silicone mold, because they became so expensive. It's just like crazy.
Yeah, you can get the silicone molding compound online and at arts and crafts stores. I think Michael's might even have it. It's binary. It's two different compounds. You mix it together like epoxy,
Mhm.
and you can make candle molds from household objects. I've made candle mold that's the shape of a cat from a small toy cat.
The most difficult part for me is to make a form around this mold. So you, for example, to be able to use this hexagonal, you have to make hexagonal form around and after put what you want inside, right? Or round one or square one, does not matter. But this form around, to me, it's most difficult to make.
Yeah, the shape of the mold on the outside of the mold doesn't matter. It's what the shape is of the cavity inside.
Mm.
So you mold the molding compound. It's kind of like modeling clay. You just squish it around, and when
Agree.
it solidifies, when it cures like epoxy, just take an X-Acto knife or a razor blade and make a slit down the side
Agree.
and peel it out.
But it's leaking if you don't make it sealed. So the compound which you pour in leak out. This is what difficult to make, the form. Not what you make it from wood, from plastic, from whatever, but make it sealed, it's very difficult. I tried, it did not work yet, but I'm hoping I will be expert in this soon. So at home, I made some candles and I want to show you. And I would like anybody try by themselves. So this is a little spiral candles like people use in a church. It's 3 of them. I could not pull it out from when I bought this mold. I needed to cut it to be able to pull out. So there is a trick. One cut and another cut and another cut. So you can pull this.
You don't use a mold release?
Huh?
You don't use a mold release?
You don't need mold release for wax, beeswax. They pull out very easy. It's just so long and so thin, and it's inside basically. You have only little wick to pull it out. Not working for me, so I decided it's better for me to cut it out. And after I cut out, I found on internet that everybody whose mold is so hard, this material is just, I paid very, it was very expensive mold. So you have to cut to be able to pull out. And it works much, much better for me. And this is another thing when you make a wick from the bottom. So when you pull the candle, your wick, next candle ready to make, you just put another wick holder and it's, anybody wants to try to pull out? Experience? So, and I don't spend much money on all these fancy wick holders. I just use.
Alla, I have a question about that mold. Do you have, you've done this a lot with that mold, I'm guessing. How long do you have to let the wax cool
It depends.
before you can get it
Depends on
out?
the candle. Like this one.
That
will
one
be
in particular.
cool, like 30 minutes, half an hour. So this one, 2-3 hours. But some candles like this one, it's gonna cool like almost 8 hours. And the best, I noticed that the best thing is just wait when it's completely dry, because you don't want to experiment. You already made it, you pour it, you spend so much time on it, and wait until the morning. You did it at evening. In the morning, you can come and easily, pull it out. It's not big deal because some candles are, this one is also very long. It's long and it's wide. Anybody wants it? Anybody else?
Thank you.
Sure. So these small candles and very soft mold, it's very easy to pull out. So another thing, when you pour the mold and you keep the wick, in a center, on the back side, sometimes you pour it over kind of like too much and it gets stuck to this wick holder. You have to melt this back side. To be able to do this, I bought this little small stove. It's very light. You warm it up and you just go around like this and make the back side of the candle flat. It's very easy. It's very convenient little stove. Huh? I tried, yeah, but it collect wax. You have to pour wax all the time out because if you do it in a frying pan, the wax which get on a side of the candle, make it not very pretty. So you have to make something like this, so wax will go away right away, and as long as you need it. I tried so many. I purchased this one maybe 2 years ago only. I was thinking, oh, I don't need it. Oh, I don't need it. But I get tired, you have to constantly wipe the pan and do next one. When you do 30, 50 candles, it's a little bit, but during the holiday, my first year when I started do it, I did 100 to give it to all neighborhoods, like to all relatives. It was really fun. I could not stop making it.
Alla, we have a question from the Zoom.
Yeah.
They want to know, how do you make different colored candles? Can you use food coloring?
So different color, you can color candles. It's not very easy with wax, but you can. Crayons, it's very good color. You melt it and you mix as much as you need, but you have to make sure, like for example, you get a, usually in a metal better than in a plastic. You warm up the can when you're gonna melt it because it's gonna get dry very quick. Let me reduce. And you melt the crayon and you mix it and you see how much you need. You want a light blue, you want a dark blue. I was doing pusanka. It's a very nice, unique things in Europe, in Ukraine. We draw the eggs during the holidays. So you put the wax, you have to do wax black. Then you can see what you're drawing on the egg. So this crayons is only one thing I found to make it black. You have to, color it. Another thing, except of mold and everything else, you can use foundation, wax foundation. It's not very expensive and easy. You just warm up a little bit foundation to be able to screw it in, you know, put the wick on the side of the foundation and start to roll it. But you have to warm it up first. And best thing to warm it up in a water, not on a stove or on something, you know, like in a hot water. Then it's okay, it's wet, but it will dry. So when you roll it in, I forgot, I bought one, you know, just for this purpose, but I forgot it. And you tight roll it, yeah. Yeah.
What temperature is the water dipping the foundation or warming the foundation?
Yeah, good question. I never measure the temperature of the water. I just did the finger. It should be hot, but not boiling, hot. What finger, you feel it, it's already like burning your finger, it's good. And so you dip it. All right, so guys, let's do next. I prepare somewhere candles to make it. So anybody wants to remove the candles? No, no practicing? Come here. So pour rubber bands down, then you can open it. See, but be careful, don't break it to the end. So it should be, and carefully pull it out. Try. Anybody else would like to try? This is cute one. And here is the one which is very difficult. Anybody persistent? So I want to talk about the tricks to make candles. When you pour wax, it should be not very hot. You should let the wax cool down a little bit. As I said, 155, 165. Good job. So, and here, see this from the wick holder, you have to melt it. So without this stove, on a pan is good, as I said, but you will have a ring around, like different color of wax or something, and it's not good. Nora. Yeah.
That's neat how you do that. So now it's ready for the next one. You just do it.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would like to filter the wax through my favorite filter and do more candles. The bucket always put on some protected metal, silicone tray. Don't put on a table because if it would, it's gonna burn, light burn, or
Alla, I have a question about removing the wick holder. You were talking about melting the bottom of the candle, but what if you like put some sandpaper on the table and then just rub the bottom of the candle on the sandpaper? Do you think that would smooth out?
no,
the
it's
base?
not.
It wouldn't?
No, the sandpaper will completely filled with wax. You won't be able to do this. You wanna have it? Let me, here is it. 1 second, let me put it away.
Although we have another Zoom question, do you have any tips for making taper candles? It's their first venture into that kind of candle making, and they would like to know if there's anything they should be aware of.
I do a lot of taper candles, but I use mold. I try to make a deep candles. We went with Brian to the, Dave say, sorry. Sorry, I don't know why I call you Brian all the time. It's not first time. Yeah. It's not first time. Sorry. Thank you. Dipping candles is very difficult because you have to dip it 28 times. And when you do it like 5-10 times, you already want to drop it. You don't want to do it anymore. So it's very difficult. And when you do it you think, oh, why do I do one? I can do like 5 at least. You know, I even made a little ring and a little things, you know, so I can do 5, and it gets heavy. I do one hands after another hands and after, and my daughter said, Mom, it's good exercise, just drop it. And I bought molds. So I'm doing molds. With molds, it's very easy. No, I never use a spray wax or whatever to pull it out. It come out very easy. Any kind of more details in these questions?
6 candle molds, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a mold that I used, if I could, I had a question.
Mhm.
It's tunnels at the bottom. So there's the top and I've burned it quite a ways, but it tunneled at the bottom. Or
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called, right?
So
I don't know what to do about that.
When you pour the mold in when you pour the wax in a mold, the wax get dry and it's sunk. You know, like you have to constantly or pour, or I use this. Always some pieces of wax, and I use this broken pieces of wax, something poured out or something, and you have to put it in. First of all, it dries out candle much quicker. And second, you can catch the moment when you pour it, it's always like or overflowing or overloading. So when you put these pieces, one piece, another one, you can control the level, how you feel it in, you know, like you not overfill it. Yeah, temperature 155, 165. And when you put this hard dried already wax, it's cooled down much quicker and it's fill in the form to the level of the, like this one, it's always sunk really big, approximately almost like a 3/4 of the inch. I have to constantly or fill in with the fresh melted wax or these pieces, put it in and it's level.
Alla?
Yeah.
When Elodie showed you the candle that tunneled, why did it tunnel?
Tunnel what? Here it is. Where is it? Here. This is bottom, see? And it's kind of sunk.
Why did it do that?
Because wax shrinks when it's in a mold. When it's hot, it's kind of like bigger volume. When it's cold, it's like goes in a smaller.
So it was like this when you took it out of the mold.
It wasn't like that when I put it in the mold, but it was by the time it cooled and I took it out.
Yeah. So we can do experiment right now. You can see it.
There's maybe a related question from Zoom. I'm not sure if it's the same technique, but how do you keep candles from cracking in glass? the wax from cracking?
So don't let the candle burn to the end. So if it's burning, like at least you have to leave it like, I would say 1/4 of inch or inch wax inside, it will not crack. If you
I think
let
he
the
means the
candle-
wax cracking when
wax,
it
yeah.
forms. I'm not sure. You can
Yeah.
come off mute if you want to,
In
the
the
person who
glass?
asked. In other, I think they're saying the wax cracks when it's hardening in the glass jar.
Because it's very hot. You have to wait the temperature. It's very hot. And cool it down with these pieces. It would not crack. We will do it right now with this candle because it's much easier when you see it in reality. So this candle cut on the side to be able to pull out, I cut it. So you have to put rubber bands around. Anybody wants to do one candle? Set up the wick.
There were a couple of young people, I think, who wanted to try something. Anyone, are they interested? Young man or the young woman back there? Yeah, come on up, sir.
So see, I set up wick, it right in the middle, but when you pour wax, it might move a little bit. So you do it carefully with this kind of things. Try. Good job, good job. Good job, good job.
Alla, I have a
Good.
question. When you are pouring the wax in,
Yeah, it stopped.
if you stop for a while and then you start again later after the thing in the bottom has cooled, is that a problem?
It could be a problem, but most of the time, if it's not cooled down, like really, really cool down, dry, so if it's a little bit like 10 minutes, you can pour more. It will be okay. But if you let it dry in the morning, you come and it's sunk, like Lodi showed us, you can't pour it in. It will be separated. So right now, we pour it in, but it's did not dry it yet. A little bit like wait for 5 minutes and you will see how it goes down. So in this case, I usually always put pieces of wax to make sure that it's flat. It's not dig out. When you buy mold, it's very important to right away test it, pour wax in and see if the candle get as it's supposed to be. So here is a mold I bought and I put it in. It looks like a perfect size, everything even, everything nice. But when you put it on a flat, see, it's kind of like crooked. So I did not notice it right away. Now I cannot return this mold. So you have to make sure right away you bought it, test it. Another thing I wanted to mention, here is a mold. It's so thin, it's exactly like this one. So when you pull it out, somebody pull it out, there is a get broken. Yeah. It's very difficult. So exactly the same thing. When you buy candles, mold like this, put it in, wait long time enough, like best overnight, and try to pull it out. If it come out really good, this one is very thin and angle is so tricky, yeah, exactly. No, I managed to do this, but it takes me forever, pull it out. So this one, same thing. I was going to cut it, but it's not possible to put rubber band. It's so thick. In this one, it's much better because it's thick. You can put it together and put rubber band around. Here is a very beautiful. So if you want to see, people come and see, it's sunken. It's just drying and kind of going down. So now I have to put these things in. Come, who wants to look? Go around. Go around. See how it's good.
Yeah, put it enters out, yeah.
Very small amount, but later it's gonna be more and more. So you have to control it. You put these things in. See how it goes up. See, now this is what you have to do with all candles like this, all, no matter what, even this small one also. Thank.
Why not just top it off with more liquid?
First of all, it's difficult to, there is a little bit, you can't control it. This one much easier, the pieces to put in, like you break it and you have so many pieces all the time when you make candles. You just use them. Any questions, guys? So, once that they cut, do they become not cut, right? And then they're supposed to pull them out, but you cut them so that they come out perfect, right? Yeah. So my candles for cookie maker did not went through well. Or they're too big, or I use wax too hot. So I'm not gonna pour any more. See how it ended up? Yeah, probably, yes. Let me try to do it right now.
Now it's sealed.
Yeah. It's sealed, but not very, very good, like, let's try. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Any more questions, guys?
Yeah,
It's a piece of wood.
I have a question, Alla. Yeah, have you tried using, I think the batik people have little tiny things that hold wax and you control how much comes out with your finger on the air. Have you tried that at all? It might be a way to control very carefully how much wax gets into the bottom of the candle.
See, now wax is much colder and it does not leak. So this is the trick. The temperature of wax when you're pouring in, it's very important. Before you pour in, make sure it's not very hot. Then it works. See? 5 minutes. More questions, guys? I have a present for anybody who wants it. I made a blanket for bee. When you do inspection, you open the hive, like you need to go for frame, for anything else, or you don't want all bees go in your face, you cover it with blanket. I finally got my machine and I made it. So I only did not put wooden sticks. You have to find something. So here is a place where you have to put the wooden sticks. Otherwise,
Like a dowel.
So otherwise it will fly, you know, if you put wooden sticks, it will sit on a hive.
So you don't make it two, who's gonna make one? I was gonna make one. I'll make some more and bring them next time.
Yeah.
Is it only one layer thick?
I do double because this one is very thick material. Anybody else would like to have it? Yeah, I'll give you. You want it?
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you.
Teresa. Here is for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions or any other questions from the Zoom?
Mhm. Anybody else give me advice? What should I change in my candle making? Improve my business?
Alla, when you buy candle making equipment, I think you mentioned Dadent, do they have wick sizing recommendations?
Yes, yes. And my
all the
PowerPoint,
molds?
I had 3 tables. From that end, from website, I found some wicks because as I said, if you buy from one source, you don't have a problem. But when this source get really expensive, you want to try something inexpensive. So it's different and you have to go and test. And when you want to buy from them again, they don't have it already, you know, you have to again go through different things. Look, this is all what I was buying and all of them, even it says same size, it's not working the same. So you have to test it, you know, make one candle and burn it. This is only recommendation I can give you because it's very tricky. They give mostly they give for paraffin and for soy wax, all these advices. Very rare when they give you advice for beeswax. It does not work. It did not work for me.
Somebody on Zoom says that Better Bee has a really good guide for wicks. And
No, they mix.
with all his permission, we'll
it's a-
post the PDF to the
they-
website
no, they
or
don't
to the
use-
mailing
I
list or
mean,
whatever.
they mix this one. It's very small amount with some other ingredients. Mhm. Sorry, I missed what you said.
Oh, sorry. I was just mentioning that someone on the Zoom says that Better Bee, the company Better Bee, has a good wick guide.
Better be very good wicks. Yes, I bought from them a few times. Very good. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, no, it's not good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry that